everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
I think, we have to be careful of our language in the committee, like we do in the House, and you can continue, Mr. Mazier.
Just a point of clarification.
Sorry,
yeah.
one
so
more.
No, whoa. We
point of order. There's a point of order. Yeah, go ahead.
It was actually a point of clarification. So if you have another point of clarification, go first.
Sorry.
So,
who's speaking? Is it
my point? I asked you also if you could, since the member opposite mentioned that the same rules apply here as they do in the House. Does contempt of the House in making misleading statements also apply here?
Hey gang, what's up? Just Ehren right here, Question Period Canada. How y'all doing? I've been trying to tell you these committee meetings, there's something else. Here's another one. It is off the charts. Dan Mazier, another soldier from Poilievre's army, is fighting against, or trying to raise attention around one of the biggest Trudeau cover-ups. And this chair of the committee is the most incompetent. Let's take a peek. Oh my goodness. These committee meetings, guys, they're worth watching. Let's take a peek at this one. It's nuts.
the matter before us today is extremely serious. There is a glaring problem here that should alarm every Canadian. In fact, after hearing the Environment Commissioner's testimony and reading his report, I think this may be the most expensive cover-up since Justin Trudeau was elected. In December 2020, the Liberals announced the Net Zero Accelerator. They charged taxpayers $3 billion to fund it. Less than 1 year later, they doubled the spending and announced another $5 billion for this government program, increasing the total cost to $8 billion. Yes, $8 billion. It is very important to note that the Liberals claim the purpose of this Net Zero Accelerator was to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Their plan was to give away billions in tax dollars to large companies in exchange for a specific reduction of emissions. Usually when a government announces $8 billion in spending, they brag about it for years and talk about the results. But ever since the Net Zero Accelerator was established, we've barely heard a word from the Liberals on this $8 billion program. And now we know why they've been so quiet. Last week, Canada's Independent Environment Commissioner revealed that the government's Net Zero Accelerator is nothing more than another slush fund. He concluded that the Liberal government, and I quote, did not effectively manage the Net Zero Accelerator to decarbonize the manufacturing industries in accordance with Canada's climate goals or with due regard to value for money for Canadians, end quote. Not only did we learn that the government was giving...
Sorry, I don't know if it's point of order or not, but I believe the member opposite was just referring to something that the Commissioner said when he was here, and he did not call it a slush fund, so I'm just wondering whether there's something that can be corrected in terms of the record, or...
Could you speak to that? I mean, look, I think you were interpreting what the situation is all about. Did you say you didn't say it was a slush fund?
What was? I'm sorry. Could you read it again?
Oh, I didn't say that. Okay, I'll say it again here. Let me go back to that. So I'll read it again. Last week, Canada's Independent Environment Commissioner revealed that the government's Net Zero Accelerator is nothing more than another slush fund.
I don't believe that's what he revealed at all. I've read his report, and he did not say that or reveal that in any way. So you must have listened to a different commissioner than I did, because that's not what I heard him say, and that's not what I read in his report. So perhaps you could reference that.
It's a bit of a point of debate, but I think I think Mr. Mazier is interpreting he's interpreting the larger context. The commissioner clearly did not say that, and for the record. Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Okay. He concluded that the Liberal government, and I quote, did not effectively manage the Net Zero Accelerator to decarbonize the manufacturing industries in accordance with Canada's climate goals or with due regard to value for money for Canadians, end quote. Not only did we learn that this government was giving away billions of dollars without measuring the value for money, we also learned the government has no clue if the money is reducing emissions. The Environment Commissioner literally stated the majority of funding was approved by the Liberals without any commitment to reduce emissions.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Yeah.
Debate, but
Well, no, it's not, because we can't freelance on the Attorney General and the Commissioner of the Environment's testimony when they come and they read their speech. I don't think it's appropriate for us to politicize non-partisan
It's not a point
people.
of order.
And like
It's not-
this,
Well, you know,
this
to be
committee
honest-
has
to be
continued.
honest- yeah, to be
Okay,
honest,
I'm not
that's-
done. My point of order is coming.
Yeah.
And look, this committee is continually being used as a place to protest various things by the Conservatives. Fine, it's their time. However, the Commissioner of
billion.
the
What's the
Environment,
What's the point of order?
8
the
billion.
Minister of the Environment did not come here and say any of those things. What he said was that in addition to other investments, decarbonizing steel production in Canada was one of those
No,
tools
but this is debate.
that has
but
been used.
This is debate, but is that the
Well,
point
it's
of order?
protest at committee, and it's a waste of time.
Okay, but what I think.
Waste of time to consider $8 billion.
Colleagues, when the chair
Come on,
has
buddy.
when the chair has the floor,
We agree
the
with
chair
you.
has
We're going to
the
go.
floor.
We're going to do.
Or
your
we'll
thing.
have a break. We'll have a break and just prolong this meeting. But you know, the words of independent watchdogs are used politically all the time in this business. But anyway, go ahead, Mr. Mazier.
Thank you, Chair. So the Environment Commissioner literally stated that the majority of funding was approved by the Liberals without any commitment to reduce emissions. Think about that. The Liberals are giving away billions of dollars in the
Point
name
of
of
order.
emission reductions without
If he's-
knowing
if
that there
he's-
will be...
Excuse me, is this a point of order or a point of debate?
Well, maybe you can clarify a challenge when a member is quoting or saying that he literally said.
Yeah, you get on the speakers list.
No, but there's got to be something about facts, about lying in committee. He didn't state that the Liberals had done that.
Well, could you repeat what you said?
No, he stated the Government of Canada had done that,
No,
quite
no.
frankly. And if you want to quote the Commission, then get it right.
So
Literally.
could you repeat what you said about the?
Sure.
Could you repeat what you said? Just.
The Environment Commissioner literally stated the funding was approved by Liberals without any commitment to reduce emissions. It was in the report.
Not literally
It's in the
state
report.
that.
Can I get on with my statement?
Yeah, go ahead.
if you-
But we know what you're saying. You're saying
Call
the
you a liar
government.
here.
The government. Yeah. The liberal
You're a liar.
government. Okay. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Obviously, there's a little bit of I've hit a bit of a nerve here, Chair.
Procedure. This is a part.
Okay, well, I may
this whole
suspend.
court is a part. It is
I may-
unparliamentary.
look,
We're governed by the rules
Yeah,
also.
and you're supposed to be governed by the chair. So, let's just move on because it's going to degenerate, and then I'll just pause the meeting, and as I say, we'll have to go later. But obviously, let's be careful with how the words we attribute to the commissioner. But keep going, please.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Point of order, I would like to invite you to come and join my channel. It's fun. We're learning about Canadian federal politics, all the politicians, all the sides, what's going on. We care about the people in the lineups at the grocery stores. That's what we're trying to bring attention to, like the things that Canadians, real Canadians, care about. Learning and sharing that with you. So yeah, like, subscribe, share, get notified, all those fun things. Check out one of the other videos. Back to the show. This is out of hand, guys.
Oh yeah, I'll find out. We'll just suspend for a minute. The chair does not have the same powers as the Speaker in the House. Cannot censure behavior that brings disorder to the committee. So I have no policing powers per se, but I would just I think we have to be careful of our language in the committee, like we do in the House, and you can continue, Mr. Mazier.
Just
sorry.
a point of clarification.
Sorry,
Yeah.
one
So
more.
no, whoa. We
Sorry,
gotta
point of
go.
order. There's a point of order. Yeah, go ahead.
It was actually a point of clarification, so if you have another point of clarification, go first.
Sorry.
So
Who's speaking? Is it?
My point, I asked you also if you could, since the member opposite mentioned that the same rules apply here as they do in the House, Does contempt of the House in making misleading statements also apply here? Yeah? Okay, so great. So now I know what to say, contempt of the House.
Okay, so as a point of clarification, I'm not misleading anybody.
Yeah.
This is factual. This is what the commissioner said. So the majority of the contribution agreements have no commitment for reductions. He said that. The clerk,
okay,
the
so
clerk
you-
can
it's a
say
quote, yeah.
it was in his testimony.
Yeah.
So enough of this
you're
misleading and all this
quoting
stuff.
the-
I'm not
you're not
misquoting
misquoting.
anybody.
Okay,
He
good.
literally said that.
Yeah.
No, I was referring to the other point where you said he literally stated
Your
that the
point of
Liberal
order
government...
was on this, so that's
and
what
then
I
I
was
raised
speaking
another
to.
one on when you said he literally said, and what you said there was not what he literally said.
Well, we've sort of correct. I think the first one I made the point for the record that he did not literally say that, but in this case there's a quote. I believe you're quoting.
He did.
Yeah. Okay.
He did
so
it in his testimony.
Yeah.
So being called a liar on that statement, I would ask for an apology.
Again, I have no enforcement powers. If Mr. Van Koop.
I'm more than willing to apologize. to
Okay,
the
there
member
we
for
go.
calling him a liar.
I shall proceed. The Liberals are giving away billions of dollars, tax dollars, in the name of emissions reductions, without knowing if there will be any emissions reductions. When I asked the Commissioner if the government is being fully transparent about the emissions data they share with Canadians, he stated, and I quote, "No, they are not fully transparent," end quote. In fact, the Environment Commissioner revealed the Liberals are inflating their emission reduction data, even stating the government may be double counting the emission reductions being reported. Yes, double counting. This is absurd, Chair. How can Canadians believe any of their emissions reports if they're fabricating the numbers? Let's define the word fraudulent. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, fraudulent is defined as, and I quote, "not what it claims or pretends to be," end quote. According to Canada's Environment Commissioner, the actual emission reduction data is not what the Liberals claim it to be. This sounds fraudulent to me.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, once again, I was just saying he's making misleading statements. It's,
No, but it isn't.
yeah, it's suggesting that you're in contempt of the House by making misleading statements knowingly. You are basically saying that what he said may have been happening, in fact, was happening, and that it was done intentionally by the Liberal government. That was not what the Commissioner said, and you are misleading this committee and people listening to it by saying what you're saying. So if you would stick to the facts and just quote the Commissioner, I'd be quite happy.
Okay.
But when you continue to politicize it the way you are, it's not accurate.
So
Do I have to pull the video clips again?
well, I think
Like,
in terms of
he did say that, and it is a definition. Fraudulent is a definition in the English
No, but
language. I
I
can't
think,
help that.
Yeah, if I recall, again, it's all about
And
whether
if they're
we're.
fraudulent, they're fraudulent.
Well, I think what he said is that the way the system works, and it's not, an intention to be fraudulent. The way the system works with different programs, that sometimes you could have a situation of double counting, but as it wasn't like the system wasn't designed, in my view, from what I heard, it wasn't designed to be like that. It's just something, a situation that
The problem is it's being
drops
run
out
like
of the
that.
way the system is structured. But in any event, continue. But let's try not to create too much conflict. But obviously you have a point you want to make, and make it.
Thank you, Chair. Why on earth is this government giving away billions of dollars without having any idea how many emissions are being reduced, if any? To make matters worse, the government hasn't released the funding agreements to the public. So, we don't even know who this money went to or why. This is absurd. That's why I moved this motion, to obtain this information. If the Liberals are spending $8 billion in tax dollars, Canadians rightfully deserve to know what the money is being spent on. There is no reason why these funding agreements cannot be handed over to the committee. The Prime Minister promised that his government would be the most transparent government in Canadian history. But we have continuously witnessed this government block the committee from obtaining information. Not only must we uncover the funding agreements for this $8 billion slush fund, We also need to obtain the progress report of the Net Zero Accelerator. According to the Environment Commissioner's report, the government is also hiding the Net Zero Accelerator's emissions report from Canadians, and I quote, "The tracker is a tool that is designed to measure the Net Zero Accelerator's progress toward an internal target set by the department itself and is not public," end quote. Canadians deserve to know the truth behind this slush fund. In the Environment Commissioner's 2023 report, he stated, and I quote, "The federal government is not on track to meet the 2030 target to reduce greenhouse gas emissions," end quote. It's very clear why the Liberals are refusing to release this information to Canadians. Their environmental record is a failure. In fact, Canada dropped 4 rankings in climate change performance last year, despite this $8 billion slush fund and another carbon tax increase. Chair, I will remind this committee that just last year, another Liberal slush fund was exposed. So I think it's imperative that we get to the bottom of this. Last year, we learned that the Prime Minister handpicked a chair to run another billion-dollar green fund. Excuse me. Canadians eventually found the chair of the Green Tech Slush Fund siphoned $217,000 of taxpayer dollars to her own company. That green slush fund was exposed for gross mismanagement and multiple conflicts of interest. In fact, the government official confirmed that no action was taken after these conflicts of interest were exposed.
All right, gang, that stuff is pretty out of hand, right? Like, these new Conservative MPs keep popping up, learning all about them, sharing that with you. That's kind of what we're doing here. Plus, we do the live videos of the question periods. Come and join one of the live shows. Check us out. The fun community is amazing. You'll like the chat. Pretty sure you will. Anyways, if that's your thing, come check it out. If not, like, check one of the other videos that are floating around here. Like, subscribe, share, get notified, all those fun things. We'll be back with more videos learning about Canadian federal politics, sharing that with you. All right, check your next video.